Hey shooters, welcome back to the Shooters Resource Channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Remington 700. This is the VTR edition and it's got a Magpul Hunter stock. Before we get started, go ahead and take a second. Hit that like and subscribe button. Support the channel. The Remington 700 is an iconic gun. It was actually my first bolt-action rifle that I ever owned. I had a Remington SPS model, and I upgraded the stock. I was first getting into reloading, and I started, playing around with different loads, and I was really able to get my loads for that rifle, somewhere around that half MOA to maybe 0.8 MOA, which was really exciting. I actually killed my first deer with it, my first buck. I've since traded that gun off, but I'm very pleased that a good buddy of mine allowed me to borrow his Remington VTR 700. And it's a great rifle. This one's chambered in .308. Now, some of you might be wondering because Remington recently went bankrupt in 2020. However, the Remington brand and its assets are owned by a bunch of different companies now, and you'll recognize them. There's Ruger, Vista, Round Hill Group, Sierra, JJE, Capital Holdings, and Franklin Armory. Well, I say you'll recognize them, however, maybe some of those, but not all, right? But either way, the Remington guns will continue to be made by these different owners. The same with replacement parts and so on and so forth. So I really hate to hear that Remington went bankrupt. They make a really nice bolt-action rifle and a couple nice shotguns for sure. Now you might be wondering what VTR stands for, and it's Varmint Target Rifle. And it's one of the many different SKUs of Remington 700 model that's been part of its portfolio since 1962 when the Remington 700 was originally introduced. The factory weight of the rifle is about 7.5 pounds. That's without an optic. That's a really good weight for a rifle chambered in an intermediate cartridge like .308. By the time you add an optic to it, and especially if you run a bipod, you're going to be definitely up over 9 pounds. But that really helps soak up a lot of the recoil, even though these rounds don't have a lot, but it makes follow-up shots and keeping glass on target after you fire a lot easier. The Remington 700 VTR does come with a lot of features that aren't present on the standard 700 models. For instance, and probably most notable, is it comes with a 22-inch Remington factory heavy contour triangulated barrel with muzzle brake. And that's in a 1-in-12 right-hand twist. Now, it's very noticeable because, again, it's triangular in shape, and it's got this muzzle brake that's integrated into the barrel. It also comes fitted with the Remington X-Mark Pro trigger, which is adjustable for length of pull as well as weight. Now, for me, I didn't have time to really tailor my loads to this rifle. I just went with a real standard load off the internet with 168 grain boat tail hollow points from Sierra, the Match Kings, and was able to get reasonable accuracy right out of the box. For the most part, I was seeing about 1 MOA groups. However, when I did a little research online, it looks like most people were getting somewhere around that 0.8 MOA grouping with this gun. From the factory, the VTR edition comes with an injection molded plastic stock. The injection molded plastic stock comes with a 4-round internal magazine. This is pretty typical of most of your 700 rifles. On this particular rifle, it's been replaced with the Magpul Hunter edition. This Magpul accepts external Magpul magazines. Another thing to note about the barrel is, because the muzzle brake is integrated, that muzzle brake's about 2 inches long. So really you've got about 20 inches of rifled barrel. If you do buy this rifle brand new, I highly recommend swapping out the stock. Other than that, the trigger is pretty nice, and the gun would be good to go, as is. Now this gun's purpose is probably not bench rest shooting. This would be a really good hunting gun for medium-sized game out to 500 or 600 yards. The Remington 700 has been used since the 60s by many hunters to harvest their best game. It's a great rifle. It's also been used by military snipers for many decades. If you don't have a Remington 700 in your gun safe, you might want to check one out. And the Magpul Hunter stock definitely makes for a nice addition. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And as always, thank you all and God bless.